TTRPGs are an amazing way to shed the shackles of reality and become a new version of yourself. However, some people decide to embrace the wrong side of themselves. These people are known collectively as that guy. These are their stories. Their RPG horror stories.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean, and today we're coming at you with some RPG horror stories. We're going to get to those stories in just a second, but before we do that, let me announce we are doing another giveaway. Last week we had two giveaways celebrating 2,000 views on a previous video, as well as 666 subscribers. Well, in that time, we have now gotten past 700, so it is time for another milestone giveaway. And this time, the mini we're giving away is this spicy Mercury HeroClix miniature. Mercury, of course, being a character from the X-Men comic series. Of course, Mercury, aka Cecily Kincaid, is a mutant whose body is made of a metallic mercury-like substance that she can manipulate into all sorts of forms. Now, to enter to win this miniature, comment on this video or on the entry post in the community tab the following entry phrase: metal as hell. Entry will close at noon Eastern Standard Time next Monday, the 18th, March 2024. A winner will be selected at random and then be given and sent this miniature at no cost to them. Now, if you're not an X-Men fan and maybe our JLC Flash miniature is more your speed, that giveaway is still ongoing as far as entry goes. Just go on over to our Volume 40 of Lesser Known Lost Media, and it can tell you how to enter there. That giveaway is still ongoing until this upcoming Saturday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Again, it costs you nothing to enter and nothing to win these miniatures, so go ahead and enter to win. And with that being said, let's get into the stories. Our first story today comes from Andy Mac 321 and is entitled A Triton's Request That I Immediately Vetoed. Just be warned, this one is tagged Not Safe for Work. So, while starting a campaign based in Saltmarsh, D&D 5e, I was reading some of the players' backstories. Some were amazing, but then Triton, as I'll call him, had this gem in there. 25-inch penis tentacle with enormous testicles that unfolds from belly pouch with super swimmer sperm capable of impregnating 100% of every female of any humanoid race. No sheep, gators, etc. in any body of water within 300 feet and forcing them all to give birth to octuplets of tritons. What the fuck? All I could do is stare at the sheet with WTF am I getting into running through my mind. I immediately vetoed that trait, as no form of sexual assault, torture, or abuse is permitted at my table. He seemed grumpy at first, but no other mention of it for the first few sessions. Seriously though, what is wrong with people? Edit. I should mention that the only reason that he didn't get insta-kicked was that he has been a player at multiple tables of mine, and nothing like this has ever come up. He's a decent role player, and has introduced me to a few other good players. If my veto is ever ignored, then he will be removed immediately. I guess my question, OP, is that where did this, idea come from? I mean, I've debated playing a Triton a time or two. I've seen nothing in the books that they have anything even close to that, and if that kind of stuff just doesn't fly at your table, and you said he's played with you several times, then he should know that, so again, what the hell? Where did he come up with this? Why did he come up with this? What narrative or mechanical purpose would this serve in-game that would be of any benefit to him or anyone else in the story? What about this setting made him think that you all needed a bunch of women getting pregnant with Triton babies? I have no words. Up next we have a story written by A Many-Faced Fool, and as of yet, all I have read is the title, which has made me go, I have to read this, and that title is Brain Force and the Incel Lesbian Sex Dimension. If you couldn't tell, this one is also not safe for work. In fact, I'm pretty sure all the stories today are going to be NSFW, so you've been warned. So, I'm in a pretty stable group of Pathfinder players. We meet twice a week through Roll20, and we've had a few players come and go. One of them, we'll call him Moose. Oh dear lord, that's my sister's nickname. Let me tell you about Moose. He's the worst munchkin I've ever met. No, he's not a disruptive munchkin. No, he doesn't overpower everything he encounters or pull off crazy cheating bullshit. He is the worst at being a munchkin. What is a munchkin? Okay, apparently according to Urban Dictionary, a munchkin is a power gamer who has no respect for role-playing and the other players. I've never heard that term before. Dude couldn't power game his way out of a wet paper bag, no matter how hard he tried. Moose had it in his head that we were friends, I guess. I like to talk about character creation, and he would listen. I am a self-proclaimed benign munchkin. Inevitably, though, he'd bring up some ripe yet questionable Gouda or go off talking about the mythic Gestalt third-party loaded, starts at 20 character he's playing in some other campaign like I'm supposed to be impressed. I mean, really, where's the fun in that? He was very useless a lot of the time. He put a lot of faith in his G's, and when it either didn't work or didn't work how he wanted it to work, the DM zoned in on the min to his max like a seeker missile, or he just failed to apply it well, and he would just get dunked on. He also had a habit of using mostly naked anime girls as his token, and always bought glamored armor so he could make it look like a micro bikini in-world as well. Most of them hit on every female NPC we met, which the DM had no time for. So it sounds like Moose is a combination of the two worst kinds of that guys. One, the power gamer, who's all about, trying to win, well, not D&D, but in this case Pathfinder, which is just D&D with blackjack and hookers, but also wanting to be that guy that is just trying to get fictionally laid. I've had to deal with both those kinds of players. I've never had to deal with those two types of players combined into one. Of course, I am never a big fan of people who are trying to win D&D, or Pathfinder is, I like to think of it as a community storytelling game that's all about having fun and going on an adventure. I mean, if you want the power fantasy, go play a video game. And I had to look at a player once who was just constantly trying to hit on every female NPC, and I'm like, dude, it's just me doing a funny voice, right? Like, you aren't actually getting laid here. But, this guy sounds like a special case. One day after session, we're all a few drinks in and just shooting the shit. He tells us we should all buy Brain Force from Alex Jones, and goes on about how awesome it is and how it makes him smarter. He then tells us that he doesn't go on dates because the only reason to do so is sex, and that he just hires prostitutes instead. He also told us that he identifies as an incel. Oh hey, welcome back, incels. Say what now? Fast forward a bit, he's left our game when he sends me a message over Discord. Hey man, you should try out this living world I'm in. I'm actually interested in a living world, so God knows what I was thinking, but I hopped in and made a character. Pretty generous, character gen rules, 25 point buy, free feats, a little loose for my taste, but whatever. I can dig high power. I'm an elf arcanist, min-maxed blaster caster. Show up to my first game? Who's DMing? Moose. Oh boy. The fight is disgustingly easy. I didn't even get to do anything, partly because the party consisted of a gargoyle, an orc with a weird homebrew class played by another DM who added 4 stats to their attack, and I learned after was a demonic futanari under a curse to, literally fornicate with the skulls of anyone who insulted her. Jesus fuck. She proceeded to talk mad shit, including to my character for being so dumb as to cast a buff on someone on the off chance it turned out the fight had more to it than it looked. Also, the 8-player party was pitted against exactly 3 ghouls and 1 shadow. It rained loot and XP regardless, with the orc DMPC argued I shouldn't be allowed a cut since I was useless. Okay, so I've only played D&D, and I know that Pathfinder is a little bit crunchier, but I'm sorry, but a powerful party in a server designed to be overpowered, and there's 8 of them, yeah, 3 ghouls and a shadow ain't gonna do nothing to those guys. I decided to take a look at the list of books allowed, and holy cow, Batman, was there a lot of broken third party, including such treasures as the Book of Erotic Fantasy, Nymphology, Blue Magic, and the Monster Girl Encyclopedia for Pathfinder. My group refers to the book of erotic fantasy as the book, and it's just kind of one of those things that we have just to show people that it existed. We don't use it. It just kind of gets passed around when new players join. Like, hey, look at what they made this one time. Except for one time we used it to place a curse on the horny character I previously mentioned, that every time he hooked up he would take psychic damage, but he always did so during a long rest, so in the end it really did nothing, but it was kind of funny. Further, they had a very strange house rule that spellcasters could only cast spells above first level if they had mythic ranks. Again, I don't know what that is. I thought about it, guys. I really did. I won't defend it, but my first instinct was to be destructive. I spent 2 days carefully crafting my abomination of munchkinery, which would have truly absurd modifiers to grapple and strangle enemies with its sexual organs. Okay then. That I might unleash him upon this unsuspecting realm and destroy it in a strangely sticky holocaust of biblical proportions. Sow chaos through the tools of their own debauchery. I called him Octodaddy. I decided instead they might enjoy that, which would make it weird, so I just left instead. You know, act like an adult and leave them to their fun. A few weeks later, because I'm a moron who forgot to block him, he sends me an invite to his living campaign, saying that he left the other because it was bad. The campaign was named after a certain Greek poet known for her love of her fellow women. I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice, but, well, I mean, I had to look. I grabbed my 10-foot pole and followed the link, immediately going to the setting resources. It was a magical dimension with no males, none of any kind, no male humanoids, no male animals. The player characters awake, having been freshly isekai'd, all have to be women. They explicitly could not have been a man in their past life as well. They made sure to say that. But that's my fetish. Magic in this most magical of realms, specifically druidic magic, causes you to become increasingly attracted to members of the same sex, and unable to control your animalistic urges. There was some other shit I don't remember. I honestly have no idea why he thought I would be interested in this sort of thing, but I blocked him after. That's probably a good call, OP. You definitely don't want to be in whatever this hell that your friend created. Bad moose. Leave it to a self-proclaimed incel to make something like this. I've talked about it before, guys. In my campaign, whenever we enter anything risque, we do a fade to black, and I usually make people roll like constitution saving throws or whatever. And I know they make many resources for, people that want to add erotic elements into their D&D game, but at the same time, as good of friends as I am with people that I play with, I don't know anybody, any group of people that I would be okay role-playing that out as a DM or as a player. As a very sex-positive person, I still can't think of anything really more awkward than just sitting around and rolling dice and role-playing out hooking up in an imaginary world with my friends. Having an actual orgy with my friends would probably be less awkward. So I do not understand the erotic roleplay amongst friends in D&D. It's just fucking weird to me. Alright guys, what other kind of NSFW stories can we get into today? How about this one? This one was posted by Snoodouts5386 and is entitled, Party Member Goes on a Homophobic Rant Because My Girlfriend Won't Fuck His Character. I don't feel like I should have to say this now, but just in case you haven't picked up on it, not safe for work, guys. You may have seen my last post here, as it got a lot of attention. This story happened a few years before that, with my first time being a dungeon master. I was still decently new to D&D, so I made a pretty basic first session. The party would meet in a tavern, then the captain of the guard would tell them to go kill goblins, still cringing at myself to this day. The party, with fake names, me, DM, Sarah, Goblin Sorcerer, and my girlfriend at the time, Mike, Goliath Cleric and the most experienced in the group, and the problem, Dennis, Drow Rogue. Of course it's a rogue. I wish this wasn't important to the story, but me and my girlfriend at the time are both lesbian. After making sure everyone is prepared, I start to describe the tavern, and Dennis immediately cuts me off. Ugh, really? A tavern? I was immediately disheartened, but continued anyway. The first bit went off without much of a hitch. without too much of a hitch, but the problem started when the party was fighting the goblin leader, who was a level 2 cleric. Now, before I continue, I had all of my notes in a box in Dennis's house, since he was the host. The goblin cleric went first in initiative and cast Firebolt. Immediately, Dennis starts complaining that I cheated and that the leader doesn't know the spell. I asked him how he would even know that, already starting to suspect he looked over my notes, and he just scoffed and continued. The party went to rest in the inn when they got back, and Dennis loudly proclaimed he was going to sleep with Sarah. She, being a lesbian, immediately declined and said that her character was also a lesbian. Dennis looked extremely angry, and then said that he rolls intimidation. He rolled like a 16 or something. I told him that he failed anyway, and then he started saying some shit about how his character was an enforcer or something, even though he didn't write a backstory, and should have advantage or something. When Sarah still declined, he blew up and started yelling that this is why lesbians are horrible and how they are ruining the world by brainwashing all of the girls so he can't have any and shit. Well, we all just got up and left because we didn't want to argue. I tried to keep playing without him, but the game and my relationship with Sarah fizzled out. I guess that's the story. Wow, okay, so a lot to unpack in that pretty brief story. OP, there's nothing cringy about an easy intro mission about going and fighting goblins or anything like. I think the first time I ever did D&D, literally the first combat encounter was a couple of goblins that attacked the party as they left the town. Goblins are a great first enemy to fight in D&D. There's nothing wrong with that, especially with a level 1 party. So not only does Dennis come across as a homophobic incel weirdo, but he also, 1, read over the DM's notes, that's a party foul, and 2, tried to take away player agency by rolling intimidation on a player. And that's a thing, most DMs will not let you do that. Like, you can't roll persuasion or intimidation or like anything outside of like a physical check, like, oh, I'm gonna grapple this guy to hold this player to hold them back from attacking the town guard. Like, yeah, they'll let you do that, but no, like nothing that actually takes away like mental agency. And the fact that he was doing it to try to convince a lesbian character to sleep with his character, also not even persuasion, was trying to roll intimidation. So 1, proclaimed, didn't say he tried to seduce Sarah's character, no, said he was going to sleep with her, that it was just like a done deal, and when she said no, he tried to intimidate her. So literally he tried to pretend, just sexually assault this character, like didn't even try to make it seem consensual, which is really fucking strange. Like, it's too bad your relationship fizzled and your game fizzled out, but I mean, no D&D is better than bad D&D, so I think, live and learn. And since they mentioned their previous post, I actually went ahead and looked it up, so we're going to go ahead and read that one next. It's again by Snoodouts5386 and is entitled Most Embarrassing Moment of My Life, and this one, same tag as the rest. I joined an online game over Discord playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e. You don't need to know the system to appreciate the story. I made a high elf rogue named Alice and prepared to play. Here are the players with fake names: Anthro Foxfighter, Anthro Cat Rogue, Anthro Wharf Warlock, DM, and me, Elf Rogue. I was immediately questioned by the DM about me not playing an anthropomorphic character, and before I could answer he said, well, I guess we would like to have one non-animal. I was instantly not okay and definitely not coming back for session 2. All of the characters then started to describe as they gangbanged my character with zero input from me or the DM before he described they are. I left the channel and was about to report them for unwanted sexual roleplay, and then realized that I had joined an erotic roleplay furry game without noticing. Definitely not my worst D&D experience, but definitely the most embarrassing. I've never randomly joined an online game, but I feel like that would be, if you're going to be running an erotic furry D&D roleplay online with complete strangers, wouldn't that be like written out pretty clearly? I don't know. Live and learn, I guess, but damn. All right, guys. I think I got one more in me, so let's do that. This one is by user Lady Callista and is entitled a player just screeched and quit the session because I wouldn't let her be gang-ard by imps and impregnated. There's definitely a vibe with this episode. Y'all are used to forced sexuality by male DMs onto female PCs? Well, get ready for a female PC trying to force the female DM to sexually A her character. So, this person and I have not known each other long. This was in our third session as a group. In the first one, her character was mildly grating because it was an obvious anime girl self-insert, but she wasn't really disruptive, so I didn't really care. She got annoying when she tried to convince the party not to kill their foes, but they ignored her and killed them anyway, causing her to screech and wail, but pacifist characters aren't anything new, so we moved on. Second session, I'm really sick. Like, I might go to the hospital sick. So I call in my friend, tell her the plot and setup, and give her my notes and tools, and she DMs. Everything apparently goes fine, but when I come back, the rest of the party is level 2, and our problem player is level 6, sporting 50 gold. What? Between session 1 and 2, she'd made up some BS story about coming across a treasure chest of gold and an artifact that made her stronger each time she lost, and told the other DM in the group that I'd okayed it. I did not. I never spoke to her about this even for a second. So we get into an argument when I tell her to roll her character back to level 2 and lose all her gold. The rest of the party had a collective 2 gold, and tried to blame me for not being here. Eventually, when I told her she was kicked out, she apologized. It was fake, but whatever. And I told her that it was her last straw, and that if she caused an issue again, she'd be barred from returning. Session 3 happened, and we came across a fortress they needed to search, and they split up. When she came across imps, she intentionally threw combat and said that her clothes fell off as she was defeated, and that the imps would probably F and impregnate her. I'm sorry, what? I immediately told her no. That was ridiculous, and I'm not going to let her character get pregnant, especially from some random monsters. She tried to fight me on it, saying it was her character and part of her plot for her, and that she could give birth instantly so she didn't have to fight while pregnant. I just kept telling her absolutely not, that the imps would probably just try to steal her valuables and leave. She wouldn't take no for an answer, and kept screaming at me until I told her she wasn't allowed back. Then she said she'd go make her own session. In that case, fine, have fun. I bet you can get all the free gold, levels, and imp cum you desire in your fantasy land. I just never want to see you here again. Again, I just don't understand players like this. It's like, look, I get it. Like, I get, it's not, you can't even just be blamed on they're a pervert. I mean, one pervert to another, game recognizes game, but there's a fucking limit. There is a time and place for your perversion, and it's not in some random D&D game where that's not the vibe the rest of the players are going for. And not only that, she's also trying to power game. She's trying to be the main character, self-insert, way more powerful than the rest of the party, and also trying to bring in her weird kinks into this game. It's like, dude, if this is your thing, just write erotic fan fiction. Jesus, like, then you can be as powerful as you want. You can have as much poorly written sex scenes as you want. I mean, again, if that's all you want is some weird pervy power fantasy story, write your own, damn it. Hell, you might even be able to get it published. The other freaks like you will read it. I've said this in a previous video, guys. D&D is not therapy. It is also not the time to work through your kinks. D&D is a fun collective storytelling game between a storyteller and people that are taking an active role in the story so that you can all tell that story together. And because we all respect one another at the table, then unless it has been specifically discussed first, if any of the sexy schmexy time happens, we fade to black. And that's going to be our story today, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hey, maybe if you want to leave a comment, leave that comment that enters you to win our spicy Mercury hero clicks. Again, that comment is metal as hell, and you could win this sexy, spicy hero clicks figure. Maybe just don't bring it to your next D&D session. So, until next time, everybody, I'm Mr. Sean, this is Chimera Miniatures, and I hope that you have a respectful time at your next D&D session, and that you alpha great day, and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye!